Hi, it's Jennifer. Welcome to the September newsletter. We are going to jump right into August stats. August median home sales price in Colorado Springs reached $500,000, showing a 4% increase from last year. This figure has remained relatively stable around the $500,000 mark for several months now. As we approach the traditionally slower winter season, we anticipate a slight dip in this price. However, with potentially favorable changes in mortgage rates on the horizon, we are optimistic that any decrease will be minimal. This could help maintain a balanced market for buyers and sellers in the coming months. August saw 859 home sales in Colorado Springs. While this is a slight drop from July, it's a typical seasonal shift as summer relocations usually wind down by July's end, with families settling in before the new school year begins. What's catching our attention, though, is the consistent decline in sales we've seen since May. It's fair to say this summer hasn't been particularly strong for real estate transactions in our area. We are eagerly awaiting next month's quarterly market report to give us a clearer picture of these trends and what they might mean to our local housing market going forward. The sales to list price ratio currently stands at 99.3%. This metric is making a comeback in our reports after a long absence. For nearly 3 years since late 2020, it's been steadily at 100%, meaning homes were consistently selling at or above asking price. The slight dip we are now seeing suggests a subtle shift in the market. Buyers are gaining a bit more negotiating power, and sellers are having to be slightly more flexible with their asking prices. It's a small change, but it's a noteworthy indicator that our local real estate market is beginning to cool and balance out. Months of inventory for August was 3.1 months. This is still a seller-friendly number, but up significantly from a low of 1 month in 2021. Our market is transitioning towards balance, offering new dynamics for buyers and sellers alike. Buyers are gaining more breathing room with increased inventory and negotiating power, while sellers may need to temper expectations of quick above-list sales prices. This shift doesn't indicate a downturn, but rather a healthier market normalization. With potential favorable changes in mortgage rates on the horizon, we're likely to see continued stability and measured growth, even as we enter the traditionally slower winter season. Overall, this evolving landscape presents a more accessible market for buyers while still maintaining solid value for sellers. The Colorado Springs housing market is showing signs of a gradual cool down while maintaining overall stability. However, the market remains competitive, and anticipated favorable changes in mortgage rates could help sustain activity as we move into the traditionally slower winter season. Speaking of seasons, fall is in the air, and we will soon be driving up to the mountains to check out the aspen leaves. By now, you should have received a Colorado football schedule refrigerator magnet. There's been a lot of change in the Colorado football scene, especially with CU and the Broncos. Let's hope things get better for both of these programs. The fall is just more fun when our teams are winning. If you haven't received your magnet, give me a call or shoot me a text, and I'll be happy to send you one. We are finally starting to see some good news on the mortgage interest rate front. The Federal Reserve is expected to start cutting interest rates, with some analysts predicting a significant 0.5% reduction as early as September 18th. This move is driven by signs of a slowing economy and moderating inflation. For the Colorado Springs real estate market, this could be positive news. Mortgage rates, which have already decreased from their 2024 peak, may continue to fall. In fact, 30-year fixed-rate mortgages recently hit a 2024 low of 6.10%. If this trend continues, it could make home ownership more affordable for buyers, potentially stimulating demand in our local market. However, it's important to note that much of the anticipated rate cuts have already been factored into current mortgage rates, so future decreases may be more modest. The other thing that we see at the end of the summer is the parade of homes. As we wrap up this year's Parade of Homes, we wanted to share some of the builders and special features that we felt were highlighted. First of all, we highlighted the Peyton Falcon areas in last month's newsletter, and one of the featured communities was Meridian Ranch with builders like Reunion, Covington, Campbell, and High Point. High Point is always a favorite for us, and it was again this year. The other cluster communities were Wolf Ranch featuring J.M. Weston, Toll Brothers, Vantage Homes, and David Weekley. And then Sterling Ranch featuring American Legend Homes, which we've highlighted before, as well as Vantage Homes and Classic Homes. As always, the big expensive properties blew our minds. I was so impressed with Murphy's custom home in Flying Horse, the beautiful combination of a modern farmhouse and probably hundreds of thousands in antiques, as well as a rooftop greenhouse and a front porch silo. What a gem. All About Home Design was another favorite of mine, as they always are with our breathtaking views all around and exposed steel beams. Abigail Homes, Villigry, and Colorelli, as well as the introduction of Schmitz & Company, were also lovely entries. It seems like last year the big feature was lighting. This year it seems like a shift and a design trend in colors like the introduction or maybe a reintroduction of some rich greens paired with browns and warm tones, moving away from the gray tones. While the custom feature homes are not available after the parade, we would love to show you around any of the model homes in our community. Thank you for listening to the September newsletter. We will see you in October.